It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day in La Jolla. We are up atop Mount Soledad at an installation that went in about 3 or 4 years ago, well, probably 3. And we come here once a year. And wow, I just want to remind you that it's December in San Diego. And we had a very, very hot spell in the fall, and some of the plants have really taken a hit, and everything has just run amok here. Example, this sticks on fire, Tiracali. We're going to take off the pretty top parts, dig out the rest of the plant, and reset the top because this is getting very run amucky. It's getting too big for the space. All the aloes are getting ready to go off, so that's exciting and fun. Greg is over here dealing with the Petalanthus bracteus. He's just limbing up errant branches that are flopping around. So the Petalanthus looks amazing. It's all in full flower and it's doing exactly what I wanted it to do. This agave is interesting how it has started to pup. So what I'm going to do is pull the pups that have left the mother. I'm going to pull out this Hummel Jade because it's too crowded now. So this Hummel Jade is beautiful and it will get repurposed somewhere else in the garden where we can bring in some pops of yellow. This Senecio Amanuensis is going to get shrunk. We're going to prune that back. Check out the hit over here. How these plants just fried. They're literally crunchy. So this might be a good place to pop in some of that jade that we're taking out from the other side. The Zwartkopf Aeonium, you know, I will probably leave those alone right now because the jade has grown up so high that it covers the unattractive stalks. If I start messing around with those Zwartkopf, it's going to be a rabbit hole for sure. And we have Justice over here limbing up the Pygmy Palms. Look at this Portulacaria Afra variegata. This is going to be trimmed back fairly hard off of the walker path. Same here. Another thing that I don't like is this cotyledon. Now, you know, there's a couple of ways we can handle it. We could just cut this plant back really hard and wait for regeneration at the base, but that means we're going to be looking at ugly for a couple of months. And I'm loath to look at ugly for even a minute. But it's really up to the client. She is not uncomfortable with this plant, so I'm gonna let it ride. But I guarantee you next time I come, she's gonna be ready to get rid of it. If they would only listen to me right out of the gate, life would be so much easier. Okay, moving on. Here's another cotyledon that's looking really, really bad. This garden is all on drip irrigation, and it was set to go off, I believe, once a week through the summer. So we will probably be making an adjustment today to go to once every couple weeks now that the days are shorter and it's cooling down. This beautiful, it's one of my favorite vignettes in this garden, is the Aloe Cameronii behind the little Opuntia cactus. And these are vicious. They don't look vicious, but they have what's called glaucids, which are tiny little, almost microscopic thorns. And when you barely touch this plant, those glaucids become airborne and they attach to your skin, and it's like being stuck with little tiny needles everywhere. And this is not gonna be fun. We'll be gloving up and long sleeving this, but the client wants us to take some of the paddles off. And I was so proud 3 years ago when I installed these flanking pool planters. so beautiful. But they are looking, you know, again, they're just a little overwhelming right now. There's too much going on. So we'll pull some plants out, cut some things up, and do some resetting. It took 4 of us about 4 hours in this garden. There are a lot of palm trees, therefore there are a lot of detritus, and many of you have asked me what is the best way to pick debris out of rock, and the best way is by hand. It's gonna take you a minute, but it is. I've tried blowing, vacuuming, praying, dancing, and frankly just simply picking it up is the best way. Check out these aloes. It is December and you can see that aloes are coming into bloom. Now aloes are not monocarpic. You've heard me talk a lot about plants that bloom and die. Aloes do not bloom and die because they bloom from the offset. See here? This is the crown of the plant. If this crown were to turn into a bloom, like with an aeonium, that's a monocot. Plants that bloom off to the side are not. So this is a Cameronii, blooms orange. This is Vera, she blooms yellow. Some aloes bloom red. Some are a combination of both orange and yellow, or well, you get the idea. Point is, don't panic if your aloes are blooming. Enjoy them, and when they're done, cut them back. This has been Laura Eubanks reporting from La Jolla, California with Justice, Greg, and Hannah, and your succulent tip of the day.